Cyprus with what they're now calling the Great Euro Bank Robbery, a mandatory tax on bank deposits to pay for part of a bailout of a banking system on the verge of collapse. All banks remain closed today, and Parliament is expected to move ahead with a delayed vote on the controversial tax in the coming hours. But European finance ministers are now urging lawmakers there to revise the plan and spare smaller deposits by increasing the levy on bank balances over €100,000. That would pay for scrapping the tax on accounts below €100,000 and would raise the same amount towards the bailout.
The end of a long weekend like no other. Cypriots are coming to terms with cold reality. Their country is likely to receive a bailout, one involving a compulsory tax on private bank deposits. But ordinary savers may yet be spared. Earlier in the day, President Nikos Anastasiades told Eurozone finance ministers he couldn't raise the support in Parliament for a deal that would have taxed even the smallest bank depositors. The response has been an offer of flexibility.
A singular bank levy could provide €6 billion. How the bank levy is structured is a matter for the Cypriot authorities.
That amounts to a green light for a significant compromise plan. Leave ordinary savers alone, tax the big money, including massive deposits of Russian cash in Cypriot banks. It's all part of a simple calculation: bailout or bankruptcy. In Asia and then Europe on Monday, share prices dropped and the bond market showed signs of volatility as Cyprus teeters just a parliamentary vote away from leaving the Eurozone.
The markets have realised that this means, it could mean, worst case scenario, the beginning of the end of the Eurozone. If people think their deposits aren't safe and there's capital flight all over Spain, Italy, even France is vulnerable, then this is bad news for not just the Eurozone but the European Union itself.
And among those caught up in the crisis, the shock is turning to anger.
There's other solutions. There's a lot of educated people in this country. They should have consulted with them instead of going and acting as cowboys in Europe. I don't know.
Another solution may indeed be at hand.
The government is reportedly working on a plan to soften the impact of the levy on small savers and increase the burden on larger ones. The leaders aim to enact the legislation before banks reopen on Thursday. But it's unclear whether the proposal will go through the parliament, as the country's ruling party does not have a majority. If the proposal is rejected, that would put the entire aid package in jeopardy.
Eurozone finance ministers have asked Cyprus to move the burden away from smaller investors. Germany, which has attracted much of the blame, insists the Cypriot government, the European Commission and the ECB agreed the levy. Luxembourg Prime Minister Jean-Claude Juncker told reporters that taxing the deposits of small savers by starting with the first euro is socially unjust. The Cypriot Prime Minister says without the bailout, Cyprus could face bankruptcy and a possible exit from the Eurozone.